All right, welcome to the Explainer. So what if I told you the most useful thing in the entire universe is a towel? And that the answer to, life, the universe, and everything is just a number? Well, that's exactly what we're jumping into today. The wonderfully chaotic, brilliantly cynical, and somehow optimistic universe of Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the most famous advice ever printed in, and I quote, large friendly letters on the cover of a galactic guidebook. Don't panic. This simple phrase, it's basically the core philosophy for surviving in a universe that is, let's be honest, completely and utterly irrational.
And believe me, that advice gets put to the test right away. Because this is the rather inconvenient news that our hero, a guy named Arthur Dent, gets just moments before his entire world is completely vaporized. And the reason why? It's not malice, it's not some evil empire, it's just simple bureaucratic paperwork.
So there you have it. Welcome to the guide. What do you do when your world just ends? This whole thing kicks off our story with the swift and, very bureaucratic destruction of Earth. It's an event that forces Arthur to realize that all his local problems are, pretty trivial now. And it's what introduces him to a very, very special book.
And that special book is, of course, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy itself. You have to understand, this thing isn't just a plot device. The guide is basically a character in its own right. It's our narrator, it's our source of all this witty and, let's be real, often unhelpful wisdom. It's the very lens we use to see this completely absurd universe.
So, this kicks off a totally unexpected journey. Let's meet the profoundly unlucky human who just lost his home planet and the, let's just say, chaotic cast of characters he's now stuck with on a stolen and highly improbable spaceship.
I mean, talk about a bad day. Arthur's Thursday escalates, quickly is an understatement. He goes from finding out his house is about to be bulldozed to watching his entire planet get demolished. All of this before he's even had a proper cup of tea. His journey just starts with one catastrophe after another, and each one is somehow more absurd than the one before it.
So suddenly, Arthur is part of this, let's call it a found family, and they are a very strange bunch. You've got Ford, the alien researcher who saved him in the first place. Then there's Zaphod Beeblebrox, the super flashy two-headed ex-president who's on the run. You have Trillian, the only other human survivor who actually left Earth willingly months before. And of course, you have Marvin, the paranoid android who has basically turned existential despair into an art form.
And that quote, that is just peak Marvin, isn't it? He's such a brilliant piece of satire on technology. I mean, this robot has a brain the size of a planet. He can literally calculate the probability of a planet's existence from a single piece of cake, but all that incredible processing power just makes him completely and utterly miserable. He's basically a walking, talking commentary on the idea that, being super intelligent doesn't automatically equal happiness.
And, of course, the way this crew gets around the galaxy is just as chaotic as they are. The ship they're on, the Heart of Gold, isn't powered by regular fuel. No, it's powered by pure improbability. Think about it like this. The drive takes something that is wildly, astronomically unlikely to happen and just makes it happen. That's it. And that, by the way, is exactly how Arthur and Ford get rescued from the cold, hard vacuum of space against all possible odds.
Okay, so we've met the players, we know about their wonderfully absurd spaceship, but what can we actually learn from all this? What's in our cosmic survival kit? What does the guide actually teach us about navigating this crazy universe?
Well, the guide actually offers some key rules for survival. And what's great is that they're less about, how to fight aliens with laser guns and more about how to just deal with life itself. The core lessons are pretty simple, really. Keep your cool, watch out for mindless systems, learn to love the chaos, and this is a big one, always, always know where your towel is.
Okay, we have to talk about step 5 for a second, the towel. Because the guide is dead serious when it says a towel is the most massively useful thing an interstellar hitchhiker can possibly have. I mean, sure, it's got dozens of practical uses, but what's even more important is its psychological value. Just having your towel with you brings comfort, and it signals to everyone else that you're a person who's got it together, that you're prepared for anything.
This quote really gets to the heart of it, and it brings us right back to those Vogons we talked about. Remember? Their destruction of Earth wasn't evil. It was just a box-ticking exercise. The plans were on display, they said, and that's one of the book's most biting critiques, that unthinking, indifferent procedure can be so much more dangerous than actual straightforward villainy.
All right, so the answer is 42. But what's the question? Because underneath this whole wild adventure, there's a quest to solve the universe's biggest mystery. But here's the twist. It's a really strange quest, because they already have the answer. What they need to find is the original question.
So what is the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything? Well, millions of years ago, a race of hyper-intelligent beings built this massive supercomputer called Deep Thought, specifically to answer that exact question. And after 7.5 million years of crunching the numbers, it finally spit out a response, an answer that was supposed to solve, well, everything.
And the answer it gave? 42. That's it. Simple, direct, and completely meaningless on its own. The computer gave them the solution, sure, but the civilization that asked for it, well, they had a bit of a problem. And here it is, the brilliant punchline to the whole thing. The problem was, no one actually knew what the ultimate question was. The answer is totally useless because they don't even understand the problem they were trying to solve in the first place. And that's when Deep Thought reveals that it has to design an even bigger, more powerful computer to figure out the question, a computer it calls Earth.
So, when you boil it all down, this isn't really about the number 42 at all, is it? It's a fantastic commentary on our own desire for these neat, easy answers to life's biggest, messiest problems. The book is pretty much suggesting that the real point isn't to find some final prepackaged answer. The point is to find meaning in the absurd, totally improbable journey itself. Okay, so long and thanks for all the fish, or something like that. If the answer is meaningless and Earth is just a pile of space dust, what are we supposed to take away from all this cosmic chaos? I mean, where does that leave poor Arthur Dent? And where does it leave the rest of us? You know, for a story that's so cynical, it actually ends on a surprisingly optimistic note. Think about it. Arthur lost his entire planet, everything he ever knew. But he gained friends. He gained a whole new, completely bizarre perspective on the universe. And I think the final message is really that even when existence makes no sense at all, companionship and being able to laugh at the absurdity of it all, well, that's the truest way to survive. So that leaves us with this final thought, a question that gets right to the heart of the book's charming philosophy. If you could prove beyond a doubt that nothing really matters, would that make your life easier or would it make it harder? It's something to think about for sure. Just make sure you do your thinking while always knowing where your towel is.